Hello, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is going to be a Q&A that is specifically on dad issues. But if you're a brand new person to energy healing, to my type of energy healing, you could ask, like, how's my aura and grounding look? Something like that if you don't want to deal with dad issues, but otherwise, all dad issue questions. One question per person, please. Please do not directly address other participants, like specifically, individually, because a lot of people don't want to get into stuff like that. All right, you're awesome. Thanks for caring about your energy and dealing with dad issues. Okay, so and as I read these questions, people's dad issues, I'm going to try to keep it light and bubbly. But you may get something triggered that doesn't feel so light and breezy. But you can always do, say, a tricolor soak, like big red grounding, and then bring up red earth energy, and then bring big orange grounding and bring up orange earth energy, bring that down, bring big yellow grounding, bring up yellow earth energy, like that. Cycling through, soaking in the 3 different colors of earth energy can unblock your grounding. And you could just keep one color of earth energy up, red or orange or yellow, and just just to be comfortable. And if something triggers, that's just an energy block or two, so you can imagine the blocks out in front of you melting with gold light. You can say, angels, help me to stay centered and get the most out of this experience, whatever. Okay, so working on forgiveness for my father and for myself. Is there anything that I can do to help me get closer to that? Does it have to do with the denial in my grounding? No, I don't think you have a denial issue about your grounding. You may have at different times, but I don't see one right now. Uh, what you could do is we did that. I don't know, you would know it, I guess, but some people might not. We did mood bench exercise in the June triplet set, the one that we just did 2 weeks ago. Mood bench exercise, where you imagine the bench of like your conscious mood, and then a long bench, and the conscious you and your conscious mood is on the bench, but then there's all these other parts of you that you're not conscious of, that are subconscious parts of you that have different moods. You could do a mood bench just for dad issues. And because it seems like conscious you has, like part of you wants, to be at peace and move forward. But then there are other parts of you from past lives and from this life that are much more into resentment, or the sadness or the grief or the fear. And so mood bench could be a nice way to address all that. Because once you're ready for forgiveness, it just sort of happens, so it's just getting ready for it, I think, is more your thing. So that could be a nice way to imagine it, just mood bench exercise. If you need a mood bench walkthrough, there, just search Janet Wright mood bench, you should find it. But yeah, do mood bench specifically for dad issues, so how you feel about dads, your past and present life dads, and being a dad consciously, but then all the other parts, and then heal all parts. So if that helps. Someone says, "Hi, Janet, could you please tell me how my brother is doing?" Oh, because he did get the healing. Okay, yeah, because that's not a dad issue question. But yeah, your brother got the healing, so that counts. Well, today's healing was very deep, with all that filament work, and he liked it. But that level is new to him recently. He doesn't get like that level healings even from his angels in his sleep. So the way he shows it to me, it's sort of like getting a, a deep massage where you're just in this really relaxed state. So he gives me a thumbs up, but he's like kind of like, wow, that was a lot, but definitely like a happy thumbs up about it. But he did surf it really well. I mean, he was in there with it the whole time, so he's doing great. I mean, at the moment he's in. Before the healing, he was in 7 and 6 only, and now he's in 7 6 5 4 3. And he's releasing like a lot. I mean, I guess you probably knew that the dad issues one would be especially good for him, but there's a lot of past life stuff relating to that, that he's clearing, and he'll do more in his sleep, and then he'll have the healing in 2 days. So he's doing great with it. Good pick for him to get this healing. Someone says, "Hey Janet, anything in particular I should work on with my dad?" And then you remind me of his initials, which he got the healing. So yeah, you don't have to remind me his name, I guess, if in that case, because he's on my list. He's a nice man, but can be really grumpy and made my childhood very difficult and stressed at times. So anything in particular you should work on regarding your dad? Yeah, I think there's this vibe of where you like tiptoe around people. It's like there's a little bit of like, and this is common, but if you have a parent that has more like big time moods, or, a lot of anger, or a lot of whatever, big time obvious imbalances, the child can become overly sensitized to that, rather than just being focused on being 3 or being 2 or being 4, and being engrossed with the butterfly or the truck, or the the drawing, or the elephant, or whatever. You're at an inappropriate level, focused on trying not to make dad angry, or why is dad angry, for example. So I think that is still with you, that sort of burden of being overly aware of other people's states of mind, other people's emotions. So it's like, to the extent that you kind of take on that as your job, to make sure that everyone is happy and content, more than I think is strengthening for you, and probably your true path. So maybe Chunk and Bubble would be fun for that. Just whatever baggage you got from being overly aware of your dad's emotions and your dad's feelings when you were a little kid. So yeah, just to Chunk and Bubble for it. Yeah. But I think in some ways, just getting into all your chakras on a regular basis, which you have done, has resolved a lot of your dad issues, and resolved a lot of, given you a lot of empowerment and confidence and everything. So you've kind of worked on them a lot already, but yeah, the Chunk and Bubble would be nice. And that area of improvement that I see most obvious that you could still do has to do with being overly aware of other people's experiences and other people's emotions and thoughts and feelings, and then kind of restraining yourself based on what they're going through. So yeah, just do Chunk and Bubble. So hope that helps. Someone says, so my dad had an abusive dad. As a result, he was abusive to me. Yeah, I mean, he could have gotten therapy or gotten over it somehow and not been abusive to you. But yeah, I see the causal relationship of that. He did have free will, though. He could have cleared it, but he didn't. I never felt loved or accepted. got worse when he discovered I'm not straight. Bullied by my own parent, I have internal pain and shame. What can I do to move forward from this? I know there is subconscious things that are hard for me to acknowledge, let alone work on. Okay, well, I think part of what makes it so heavy, and it's interesting the way you say the whole thing of, my dad's dad was abusive, therefore my dad was abusive, therefore, blah, blah, blah. And um, I mean, I know you're just trying to lay out data, but also I think that a lot of kids, you included, take on responsibility. So it's kind of like your job to fix them, so it's your job to fix, 2 generations or 3 generations of males being abused and abusing others. And it's not your fault. And it's not your responsibility to fix your dad and your dad's dad. And they chose you just as much as you chose them, to be a part of the family. So, you know, um, I think there's a subconsciously, maybe consciously a little, but there's this sort of burden that you have of like trying to figure them out so that they change. And that, doesn't look like it's your path in this life. It's just that as a kid, you want dad to be nice, and how can I make dad nice? How can I make dad be more supportive and comforting rather than a total tyrant? So, but yeah, it's not your job, but the kid, you didn't know that, so now it could be your job if you choose to accept it, is your job is to realize and get all parts of you to really let go of that. You're not your dad's mentor. You're not your grandfather's mentor. You're not their salvation, their healer, their therapist. Just work on like quitting those jobs, so that your job is just to heal yourself. Your job is just whatever is your life path, because you're going to teach him enough just by being you, whether he likes those lessons or not, I mean, you can say, angels, please bless my father. Angels, please bless my, genetic grandfather. But there's just this way in which you're all tangled up with trying to change them. And that's not going to work out so well. So just, you can just imagine, the job of changing your dad, the job of changing your grandfather, and just hand it to your angels. The angels, here you go. And you might have to hand off that job every day, for a little bit until you really feel like, yeah, I handed it all off now. I'm really done. I can really just be okay. So I hope that helps. Obviously, chunk and bubble is really good for like getting rid of a lot of junk, that is around, a lot of unpleasant junk from this and past lives. Because you don't, I mean, I'm going back and forth on debating how to say it, but it's you and many people. If you have a hard experience in this life, chances are it's especially hard because you've had unresolved past life experiences that were similar. So chunk and bubble is fine. You don't have to know what life it's from, but just keep melting away. Chunk and bubble, for those that don't know, it's an exercise that we did in today's healing, and it's also towards the very end of today's healing, and we also did it in earlier this month too. So if you search Janet Ray chunk and bubble, you'll find stuff. But also today's healing. Later, I'll link it down below in the comment section. I should make a note to do that. Well, yeah, usually I do that. So anyway, hope that helps. So yeah, try to keep it light though. It's like, because it's easy when you're in the earlier stages of clearing from a hard childhood, it's easy to see it all just as one big like ocean of pain that you have to fix it all. And so try to keep it light and just do something small today. Like be like, okay, well, that's totally overwhelming and I don't want to deal with it at all. But like, say I get this little golden thimble and I take a thimble worth and I deal with that and I'm going to blow that up. You know what I mean? Like, just start as small as you need to start so that you don't do nothing, you know? Like, even if you say, well, just angels help me to work on my dad baggage today subconsciously. That's actually pretty cool. Because then you're saying, okay, well, I'm gonna let my angels help me work on my dad baggage subconsciously today. So there's always a step that's small enough that you can do it, even if it's just in your sleep working with your angels on your dad baggage, or taking a little gold thimble and blowing up that much baggage. There's always some little thing you could do. And that's probably necessary to remind yourself, because like I said, if you're in sort of the early mid stages of working on yucky childhood stuff, it all tends to interlink, and so it's not natural that you just do little bits and keep your momentum. You're usually like, oh, I can't do all that today, which of course you can't. So you just have to remind yourself, okay, fine, I just have to do a baby step version, and that way you know you're making progress. Okay, so I hope that helps. Good job. So it says, thank you for your work today. Oh, yeah, because you got the healing. Dad has evolved from this life. Yes, he's in heaven. 2004, crossed over when he was 68 at the time. I felt lost during most of this session. Do you know why? Yeah, you were triggered. Yeah, it's just, um, um, when someone crosses over, it's a transition. It's a lot easier transition for the person that crosses over than it is for people that are still living, in general. I mean, because heaven feels great, to people that cross over. They're just like, whoa, I feel fantastic all of a sudden, basically. So it's easy for them. But for you, there is a shift between like, you still have the relationship, you still have the friendship, and you can remind yourself of that. But there's a little bit of like letting go and processing in order to fully transition to the new chapter in that relationship for the living person. So for you with your dad in heaven, that's a new chapter, and you kind of have one foot in the old chapter still. Like, no, I don't want this to be true. I missed, I could have been going with him somewhere today, and I could have, whereas he went with you on a spirit level, but there's parts of you that are not okay with like only spirit level dad. You want like the physical bone kind of dad. So maybe mood bench would be nice for you too. For this, the conscious you that's maybe more involved about, sure, my dad's in heaven and sure, we're still friends, and yes, sure, I can have conversations and he hears me perfectly, which is fun, and he can go with me anywhere, which is fun. But then there's these other parts of you that are like, no, and just heal those parts of you. Heal all of you on the bench, and just heal the parts of you that are not okay with your dad crossing over when he did, and just heal all that. Lots of gold light for everybody, all the different parts of you. But yeah, that's why, because there are significant parts of your energy that are not okay with your dad being in heaven and visiting in spirit form all the time, and you prefer that never would have occurred, and he's still physical dad to hand you a wrench when you need it. I got big wrenches that I talked about in the healing in the intro. But yeah, so just that's why it's just a good topic for you, let's say. It's not a past life dad issue. It's just this life. But yeah, just a little bit of sadness and resistance to that he crossed over. But just say angels help me with that. Because as long as you're not like denying it, you're not like pretending it's not there, then you're working on it. So if you're like, yeah, I really spaced out, I had some baggage, angels helped me with all that baggage that made me space out today, then there you go. Now every positive energy clearing or healing or nourishing thing you do is going to help with that. Right, hope that helps. Someone says, I'm surprised to notice that I feel pretty good. Like I'm on the right track in terms of gradually healing my dad issues from this and past lives. Is there anything big that I'm missing? Thanks. Yeah, it's because you're getting a lot more present. When you're more present, things aren't so weird and trippy anymore. And you're so much more present than you were even, 7 months ago. So yeah, it's like, you got a huge upgrade to your car kind of thing. So good for you. Um, yeah, I think you are on track to healing your dad issues from this and past lives. I think, yeah, I don't think there's anything big that you're missing. I think that part of what you've been, going through with not being such a nomad and, being more living in one place and putting down roots and all that, in part was you working on your dad issues without really knowing it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. If you just work on getting more present, more healthy, more balanced, it's kind of like you work on whatever you need to work on along the way. So, so yeah, you're right. You are on track with this, and you are working on it. So yeah. So yeah, you could, if you want, you could redo any of today's healing, any of the filament part, like if it's too big of a deal to do the whole 7 filaments and 7 chakras and all that, pick one chakra and do that, or, just do the chunk and bubble stuff at the end that we did, or, chunk and bubble is nice to keep going with, and easy, nice and easy. Okay, so that helps. Good job. Someone says, thank you for the healing, Janet. I am feeling tight in the shoulders. Yes, as I hunch forward as well. I'm feeling tight in the shoulders, but otherwise pretty peaceful. Anything you see that I should be working on? How did my husband do? He is fixing things. I laugh because, yeah, healings can, well, for both parties, both people in the healing, but I've heard that a lot, that, the guys tend to like, move forward on projects and, stuff after getting a healing. Sometimes it's fun. So anyway, so see that you should be working on, and you are fixing things. You are a newbie, but you're kind of a fast-moving newbie. So I think your angels want me to make it more of a dad issues question for you than a, oh, sorry, baby. She's sitting on everybody's names that I need to look up. So for you, what do you need to work on as far as dad issues? I would say there are some past life dad issues that you could keep clearing. It seems like past life dad abandonment issues, like dads that just, maybe because they didn't get along with your mom in that life, or they just had too much responsibility baggage or something. But it seems like in the lifetimes where your dad was still living, but he just left the family, that there's lingering feelings of heart chakra heaviness about that. So maybe just, the easiest version would be just, hand to in front of your heart chakra and send gold light, through the round opening in the front, all the way through the round opening in the back of your heart chakra. Just lots of extra gold light for your heart chakra today. And wash out dad abandonment baggage. You don't really have much baggage from being a dad to resolve. It seems like when you are a dad lately, you really enjoy it. Lately in past lives, you've really enjoyed it, and you've found ways to clear baggage from the past of that level. So it's more just the most pronounced thing is the dad abandonment. It's being abandoned by a male authority figure. So just I think heart chakra would be nice for that. Maybe energy healing flowers for just self-worth, self-esteem, um, you know and then just give that to your heart chakra. Energy healing flowers that your heart chakra needs. um, but yeah, I think, yeah, just extra gold light and flowers for your heart chakra to help you let go of old past life dad abandonment stuff. But your grounding looks good, your aura looks good. You rocked the healing today. I mean, obviously you got the healing, and you were definitely received it. Oh, I forgot to say redo gold buffer zones consciously. I mean, I said it telepathically a couple times, so I always forget to say it consciously because it's like such an instantaneous, quick thing to do. So if anyone doesn't know what gold buffer zones are, there's a reference video, 18 minutes long. If you search Janet Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. If used properly, they slow the rate of aura damage. Okay. Your husband, um, this was a pretty deep healing for him, and he hasn't received that many healings yet. Um, and he's a telepathic participant, but he kept having to oh, we're still going, the healing's not over, there's more. But he did receive it all, and he seems to be smiling about it. He's like just shaking his head like, boy, did I have a lot of junk. So yeah, he's still getting used to how big these healings are, but he seems happy about it. So yeah, he's fine. He's releasing a lot. Yeah, so all good. Lolly law. Let's see. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Just wondering how my son did in relation to his biological father. Thank you." Yeah, because your son got the healing. Your adult son got the healing. Yeah, he did well. It's as far as we did a lot of chakra filament work in the healing. We healed, repaired, and cleared all major chakras, and then the chakra filaments in between the astral and the physical chakras. And the upper chakras, 7654, those filaments and those chakras, that's where he had more of his dad baggage with his father in this life. And so about half of it cleared. That's just what he could clear at this time, what was healthy and gentle to clear at this time. So he has another half of that to clear. So probably whatever we do in the next 2 days will clear it, or he's definitely going to work with his angels over the next 2 nights before the Tuesday healing too. So, but he definitely, his angels give him like 3 check boxes for this healing. Like he paid attention and he focused and he was really open to it. So they give him an A+. That's cute. So he did great. Yeah, yeah. So he's fine. Uh, Oh, someone else had given me his name of his dad, but yeah, I was okay without it. So it says, any messages from my angels on other healing techniques I should do with regard to dad issues? I received today's healing, thanks. And you do not tell me your real life name, unfortunately, in your question. Do you say it later? No, you do not. Yeah, just a heads up. I don't have a great memory in general in life, and plus, I am healing 117 people, so not all of them are on YouTube, but a lot of them are, and remembering everybody's abbreviated names is not usually easy. There we go. Thank you. All right, good. Um, you actually, what you could focus on that your angels say is a good one to work on would be you have more of a past life dad thing that your angels are putting forward. You have some grief from when you lost fathers in past lives, fathers of yours in past lives, in like sort of tragic causes, like you lost a dad when he went away at sea, on a boat. He went away and never came back because there was a storm. You lost a dad in a battle and you didn't get to say goodbye to him on a physical level, and people always get stuck about that. Even though, like, on a spirit level, they totally see you and you don't have to say goodbye because they still exist, but that's just a very human thing to get stuck on. So you have this grief thing around past lives where your fathers had unexpected deaths that you didn't expect. I mean, when somebody dies, it's meant to be like it's divine timing. There's no accidental death like on a spirit level. But so maybe just remind yourself, like hold your heart chakra, and send gold light there, and just remind yourself that all your past life dads still exist. They're all doing fine. They all crossed over. They all went to heaven. Most of them are in different lifetimes, and they've had several lifetimes since you knew them, and they're all okay, and they're all safe, and they're all growing, and they're all moving forward in their own ways, and whatever friendship you had with them still exists. And your angels can have nice reunions in your sleep with whatever past life dad you want. Your angels can set up a past life reunion like in your sleep on the astral reunion with whatever past life dad you want. So there's no like goodbye thing, like, I mean, they still exist, you still exist, you can still be friends, it's okay. They're still healthy. It was just a body. It was just a physical body that went away when it was supposed to go away, and you just got all confused because people don't understand that stuff usually. So just remind yourself, everybody's safe. All your dads are okay and safe, and they all went to heaven when they were supposed to, and it's all okay. And you could just say, angels, please set up some nice, happy heaven reunion meetings with me and my positive dads that I've had. And that way you can have fun in your sleep and have parties with positive dads that you've had that you miss. You don't have to miss them because they still exist. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, did my father issues set the tone for my past romantic relationships? um, not 100%, but maybe like 40 to 50%, depending on the relationship. Your dad issues impacted things. Um, did your dad issues affect who you chose to have a relationship with? Absolutely. So if you healed more of your dad issues, would you be more likely to be attracted to people who are actually long-term compatible with you? Yes. So, let's see, how do you work on that? What would be an easy way? Yeah, there's sort of this thing where I think I mentioned it with somebody else. It's like fixing fixing dads so that they can love you and support you the way you want to be loved and supported. Can people kids can get stuck in that, say that they have a dad as a kid, that when they're a kid they have a dad who's not loving and supporting enough. They could get stuck in this mode of trying to fix dad so that he becomes loving and supportive enough, and that can sort of stay in one's outlook of life and way that they interact with others. So that idea of fixing others so that they love you and support you enough, if you're stuck in that mode, then you can attract people who are really not in their current state compatible with you at all, and are not likely to become compatible with you. But you're basically, it trains you to look for people who are incompatible, because you're trying to fix them so that they become compatible. But that's not how compatibility works, right? So how do you get out of that mode of trying to fix people so that they can love and support you enough? I think inner wounds, I think for you would be very nice. So if you imagine inner wounds just like slashes out in front of you. So imagine inner wounds from this or past lives, doesn't matter. Because a lot of it is past life stuff. I mean, plus this life, but it's, don't separate them out really. So just inner wounds, imagine them like slashes out in front of you. Any inner wounds that make you feel like you have to fix people so that you get the love and support you need, right? And then just heal these inner wounds. And then when all those slashes melt away, then put some more out there, more inner wounds that you have from this and past lives that make you feel like you have to fix people so that you can get the love and support that you need, and just melt away those inner wounds. And you can keep doing it. Just ask your angels to check so that you're not doing too much. But I would say just keep doing that. Just keep inner wound healing. That'd be a nice thing, because it could change your radar, how you consciously perceive other people and who you're attracted to, and who you decide to spend your time with. So I hope that helps. Someone says, it's data about their dad, their name, and that he's in the lifetime. In today's healing, the throat was blocked and my solar plexus was blocked, very blocked. Seemed more on the astral side, and I was really struggling with sacral, second chakra. Can this be from the dad issues or other stuff? Yeah, I think it was all dad issues. Um, because keep in mind, it could be this life and past lives. So, I mean, you're you're saying fifth, and just so you know, I think in numbers with chakras. I know other people don't, and they're like, oh, sacral and this and that. Sometimes I forget, like, what the hell is sacral, and I have to Google sacral chakra because I forget that it's second chakra. Because I'm very into the numbers of it. I just see them and I can look at them, and so that's just how I think. Anyway, okay, so your third was blocked, your fifth was blocked, and so you're wondering what's up with that. So your third and fifth and second, yeah, Your third, fifth, second. So 532. So 532. So the question is, I mean, 532 were blocked 2 weeks ago, pretty much too. So I don't think it's just dad issues, but you add triggering the dad issues to it, and that's where you get the major roadblocks, you know? So I would say it was half just generally blocked, and then half, you know, the past life dad issues, you know, because the more we say it, the more it's triggered, you know? Past life dad issues. So, you know, just redo 532 a bunch, you know? I don't think you have, there's no great mystery about it. Just, you know, that's where you need to work. It's fine. Um, I mean, 1 is actually just as blocked as 2 and 3. It's just, I think that you're not as present down there, so you don't really realize your perception of it is not as great. You know, so I would say 1 is actually probably more weak and has less flow than any of them, but that's the way it goes. You know, as we get more present, you know, you get present from the top down. But the more, like, if you get your 5th okay, then you'll have more strength and energy to deal with 3-2, and then if you get 3-2 okay, then you'll have more strength and energy to deal with 1. So, you know, that's the way it goes. But yeah, you have some family members cording in to the filaments. You, for context, this person didn't receive the healing from me. So, I mean, you can heal yourself, which you did, and you did a lot of good work. But if you have someone healing you as well, it, you know, obviously it's pretty potent then. So you didn't melt away the cords from family members that were going into these filaments. So if you do that much more, I think you have a unusually large, well, I guess maybe average number of cords going into your chakra filaments of somebody who doesn't get healings from me. You know, I tend to, you know, melt away cords from everybody else so much that people have less of those cords, but you haven't gotten healings from me. So compared to that group of people, it's probably pretty typical. But anyway, just melt away cords going into your chakra filaments. You have a bunch of them from other people. And that could make that type of work easier to do. Also, maybe just get into your legs more, because as you do this work, you kind of tend to rise up a little. So maybe, you know, like take little breaks and do like a tricolor soak or reground, and think about the red earth energy coming up your legs and into your first chakra. You know, I have like a really basic 11-minute video called Explaining Earth Energy Up Legs. So you can watch that if you haven't ever watched something like that. Just to remind you about your legs and the earth energy coming up, and how you visualize it and imagine it so that you can unblock, like you could unblock your feet chakra and your ankles a little more, because that's a real big restraining point for you, limiting the amount of earth energy coming up your legs, because that'll really keep you more present so you can do this work more easily if you have a lot of earth energy coming up into your first chakra from your legs. So that could be a nice thing. So if you search Janet Wright, Earth Energy Up Legs, or Explaining Earth Energy Up Legs, you'll see it's an 11-minute video. Okay, so I hope that helps. Someone says, I did some of this healing on my son, Dylan, and you say his name, while I was receiving the healing from you. Can you please tell me how he is doing? You know, he's two things. I mean, one thing your angels say, okay, if you're receiving a healing from me, just enjoy it and heal yourself. Because they're like, you always give to others. And, you know, if you feel compelled to give to others while you're getting the healing, you're probably overdoing it, and there's something wrong with your ability to receive and enjoy the moment and just explore your own energy. So they're like, there's a time and a place to give to others, and you're very good at it, but try to give yourself some healthy boundaries with that, so that, you know, while you're getting a live healing, you're not focused on other people. Obviously, if you know you have some meeting with somebody and you're talking to them, that's that. But you know, if you're going out of your way to focus on other people that you don't have to do while you're getting healing, you know, your angels say it's a little bit of over giving. There could be some parts of you that you're avoiding with this distraction of working on someone else during your own healing. So, hope that makes sense. He could be more present than he is. He does have aura damage, and his grounding is pretty narrow. So I think that some of the more in-depth work that you were doing on him, it got him a little more present, but not much because of the aura damage that he has, and his grounding is narrow and blocked. So, you know, when your angels say it's time to assist him as a healer, then just the basics, or repair chakra, or repair and grounding wide and flowing would be the place to start. So yeah, but I want to focus on dad issues right now. So you and dad issues, that could be why you're like, oh, let me heal someone else right now. So what a part of your dad issues are you avoiding? Interesting. You have some past life baggage from experiences when you were a dad and things didn't go well for your kids. So things didn't work out for one kid or another kid, and you were worried about them, or you were sad about something that happened to them. So you have grief and anxiety as a parent, like dad grief and anxiety from being a dad in past lives. I think if you clear that, it would help you in situations in this life that are parent related, but also just in general, it could help you. So maybe chunk and bubble for that. Just, big chunks of unprocessed, anxiety and grief from when you were a dad in past lives, unresolved stuff that you have from being a dad in past lives. Yeah, I think that sort of more front and center is being a parent and things didn't work out for your kids in those past lives, and just keep clearing that unprocessed baggage that you have. So I hope that helps. Okay. Someone says, I feel like I have a handle on most of my dad issues since I've been working on his courting, energy throwing for so long. Are my dad issues still affecting my work life and romantic relationships? Well, I mean, I think what you're saying is your dad issues from this life with this dad. But what we're working is any dad issues, meaning being a dad in past lives, having dads in past lives, issues with male authority figures in past lives. So it's much more expansive than maybe what you have in mind. And I think if you work that more wider theme, that that could help. um, So I guess the question is, are your past life dad issues still affecting work, life, and romantic relationships? Yes. Present life dad issues still affecting work, life, and romantic relationships? Yes, but much less. Like 15% present life, 60% past life. There's a lot more past life stuff that's still affecting past life dad baggage, dad junk. So, the thing your angels are showing me, I mean, there could be all sorts of situations, but just to make it a little more concrete, I wanted to look at something specific about your past life dad stuff. And your angels show me this thing around like betrayal and um like discord. Like it bothers you in past lives. It has bothered you in past lives when you don't get along with your dad. And sometimes, you've had issues where, certain siblings get along with your dad more than you do, or your dad did something for certain siblings but not for you, or you had an agreement with your dad and your dad didn't live up to his side of the agreement, and then, he lied about it, or, whatever. So it's like discord, arguments, um, broken arguments, betrayal, broken agreements, betrayals. So basically, conflict, conflict with past life dads. Not so much as a dad in past lives, but with dads. So past life conflict with dads. So you could just do chunk and bubble for that. Just imagine big chunks of baggage of, conflict with past life dads, and just, melt the chunk in gold light and let the learning bubble up to you. And so I would say that actually could give you a lot more boundaries with your current life dad, a lot stronger boundaries with your current life dad. But just in general, could affect how you perceive money and responsibility and everything. So that could be cool. So clear baggage around conflict. I mean, the dad junk is just, that'll cover everything, but specifically, if you want to be specific, it's the biggest part of it looks like conflict with dads in past lives. So I hope that helps. Someone says, it's interesting about the free will. You're right. He always said, I didn't have a dad. He kind of viewed it as it was okay to be how he was, since he didn't have that kind of support of a father either. Thank you, Janet, for all the help. Sorry, I'm so heavy. This theme is a big picture subject for me. Yeah, well, you can be however you want to be. You don't have to apologize for that. That's okay. It's natural that when you're dealing with baggage, being light about it is not the default for a while, which is why I always remind people, hey, lighten up, wiggle your butt, wiggle your toes, do chunk and bubble exercise. So yeah, nothing to apologize for. Someone says, whoa, that blew my mind in a good way. Makes total sense. Thanks, Janet. Something I said blew your mind, but I forget what it was by now. But good, I'm glad it did. Yay. Someone says, thanks for the feedback. You're welcome. Someone told me their name, which is useful, yes. So this is, hi, Janet. Is there anything you can add about my dad? He passed away 3 years ago. Yeah, you don't put his name, but you do say that he passed away, and I think I can figure out who you are. So I'll go with that. So anything I can add about your dad? Add. Yeah, I think you're definitely like both feet in the new chapter, of where he's in heaven and he visits all the time. You guys have conversations like when you're awake. I don't know what you're thinking about consciously at the time, but you like will have these like marathon, like hour-and-a-half conversations with your dad. Sometimes it's like you'll be in this really frenetic, sort of slightly unpleasant mood, and then like an hour later you feel great, and it's because like on a spirit level your dad showed up, and you guys were talking as you were doing whatever you had to do, just subconsciously you were talking to him. And so sometimes like your mood shifts, if they shift in a positive way, but you didn't do anything consciously to help it. It's because your dad showed up and you guys had a nice chit chat. So yeah, you're very okay. It looks like consciously and energy wise on a spirit level with with him. I don't know how you feel consciously, but it looks like energetically on all levels you're making the most of having a dad in heaven that can appear whenever you want and need him to. so so yeah, hope that helps. Someone says yes, it really does help. Oh good, I don't remember what I said, but I'm glad that it helps. That's awesome. Someone, yeah, the chakra numbers, which I always love. Someone says, wow, that's crazy. I thought I cut the cords. I have to work on that. You know, it's interesting. People like that don't do my work, they do like other people's work. They have this, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but people always think like, in the other stuff, they're always like, well, cut the cord and there's some process and you do it and then it's done, it's gone. Like they'll never cord you again, which is like some kind of fantasy. I think those people that say that, they must not be actually clairvoyant, because if you were actually clairvoyant, you could see like, 2 days later, oh yeah, there's the cord's back, like people can cord you really easily, like, but the more present you are, it's less, they can cord you in less essential places. And then it's easier to melt the cords away and faster to do it. Like personal example. Okay. Like my husband is my second husband, really. My first husband, I divorced when I was 28, maybe. Um, and can he still cord me? Yes. There's no magical, like I cut the cord, like this one process and now he can never cord me. Like that's not real. Like, and he can cord me, but he's not able to, it would be unusual if he were actually able to cord one of my chakras. Usually it's just some floating little hard stagnant part of my aura, some little energy block that he's able to get a cord into. But it doesn't affect my day really, and it's like very minor. And then I maybe notice it when I'm meditating and I melt it away, or I just automatically it melts away as I'm doing whatever gold fire thing I'm doing, or something. So yeah, it's not like the simplistic one and done forever kind of idea with chords. So I hope that makes sense. Do. Someone says, hi, Janet. How am I looking? Any homework from you? Oh, wait. The angels want me to go back to that discussion about chords. So the reason that my ex-husband can't cord my chakras, and if he manages to get a cord in, it'll be to some little, cow pie of baggage somewhere floating in my aura. It's because I heal myself all the time. I work on strengthening my aura. I repair my aura whenever it needs to be repaired. I work on my grounding. I work on my energy every day. I'm present in all my chakras. So it's not just by default that just because I, divorced him, like 23 years ago, that he can't cord my chakras anymore. That's not true. If I had a ripped up aura, he could totally cord one of my chakras today. It's just opportunity. If there's an opportunity to get that much in, he would, just because he's kind of codependent like that. So, anyway, so I hope that makes sense. Someone says, hi, Janet, how am I looking? Any homework for you or angels? So you are not a newbie at all, and this is a dad Q&A, so I'm going to read some dad issues for you. So that's sweet. Well, okay, so there's this thing where you're in this life, your dad in this life. That's what I noticed as something to work on maybe first or next, you know. It looks like you kind of not quite bubble wrap his energy with your energy, but there's this sort of protective hovering that you do around your dad, because of, you know, anyway, you probably can imagine why you hover around him protectively. But so what you could do is work on healing your own inner wounds that cause you to hover around him, because you're hovering around him. You're kind of like in his seventh layer sometimes, and even courting his seventh chakra sometimes. And that's definitely not going to help him to be more present. It's not hugely harmful to him, but it is harmful to him. And it's just distracting for you. And the reason you're being invasive in that way with your concern is just these inner wounds that you have. And those are from present and past lives, about concern for a father and feeling a need to protect and look out for your father. So just imagine inner wounds from any time that you've been around, that are causing you to feel, you know, invasively protective and invasively anxious about your father on any level. And just heal those wounds and make more, you know, imagine more slashes out in front of you that represent old, you know, inner wounds that cause you to be, you know, concerned in an imbalanced way for your father, and just melt away, you know, heal those inner wounds. And you know, you can do that, you know, a little bit each day for, you know, maybe like a week and a half or so. I don't think it'll take you a week and a half to not be invasive with him. I think, you know, you'll get that probably in like 2 or 3 days, but then I think there's still more. I think that's sort of a thing for you that you've had in this and past lives, of situations where you've really felt like you've had very deep and considerable concern for the welfare of your own dad. And so, you know, those are wounds that you can heal now. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, hi, Janet. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Someone says, I think I see cords. I cut them, or think I am, and thought I did them today, but maybe it was my imagination. I'm a newbie. I think you're not aware. I don't think you are aware of the chakra filaments to imagine cutting them there. I think you cut them going to major chakras, but that's different. The filaments it's like a little internal thing that it's a little more in depth. And so it's easy to miss that if you're not actually consciously doing it from filaments. I think too, you know, just the more present you get, because the thing is melting the cores, but then the thing is staying present enough to like keep it flowing enough so that the core doesn't just go right back. You know, I think that right now you're in 7 through 3. I think earlier when you were doing the cord releasing and everything, the melting away, of course, you were in 765 only. 765. So you were a lot less present. So then you can melt on these cords in these lower chakras, but if you're not there, then they can just, you know, come right back. You know, so it's a process. You know, it's not that you did anything wrong. It's just the more present you get, the more you'll be able to maintain that strength and flow at all times. And so then there'll be less like having to redo things, you know. And plus, if you explicitly do the filaments for a while, I think that'll just get you used to unconscious and subconscious levels, like re-owning that as part of your turf. Okay. Well, this could be a nice stopping point. So congratulations, everybody, for working on your dad issues. I did the dad issues healing 1 of 2 today, and in 2 days we will do the dad issues 2 of 2 on Tuesday, June 22nd. So congratulations, everybody. I'm very impressed. You're awesome. Good for you. And again, the easiest version of this, if all this is kind of a big deal, just say, angels, help me to work on my dad issues in my sleep. That way, you know, while you're sleeping, you'll be more open to working with your angels on whatever you need to work on about your dad issues. Of course, you can do in-body awake stuff too, but this working on it in your sleep is pretty simple. That's maybe the babyest of baby steps. Okay, you're awesome. Thank you for all the thank yous. Bye. Have a good day or evening or morning. Woo woo.